Hello everyone and a very warm welcome. My name's Maria Orgelis and I am going to be talking to you about this week's astrology forecast. That's the week of Sunday the 29th of March all the way through to Saturday, April the 4th, 2026. And I'm calling this Awakening the Mind. So this week has a much lighter and fresher feel compared to the grounding tough energy that we had last week. We start with Mercury sextile in Uranus on the 29th of March, which brings sudden clarity and insight. We'll feel those intuitive sparks that feel like they come out of nowhere. And it's a great time for brainstorming, problem solving, simply seeing something from a very new angle. And then we have Venus moving into Taurus. Such a beautiful shift. I can't wait for this. And then on the 3rd of April, we have Mercury entering Aries, finally, after that very long transit through Pisces, where communication becomes much more direct. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the story of the week. This week, we've got fresh ideas and grounded connections. Last week may have stabilised you. This week calls you to action. It wakes you up a little bit. So imagine opening a window after a very long winter and all of the fresh air rushes into the room. It's when our ideas spark and your mind starts to feel alive again. So the key transits this week, we have Mercury sextiling Uranus on the 29th of March. The moon is going to transition through from Leo at the start of the week through to Virgo and finish off in Libra. And we have Venus entering Taurus on the 30th of March. Mercury enters Aries on April the 3rd, and Venus then will sextile Saturn on April the 4th. So let's get into some of these. So starting with March the 29th, this is all about sudden clarity when we have Mercury sextile in Uranus. So Mercury and Uranus are said to be the two octaves of each other, Mercury being the slightly lower and Uranus being the higher octave. So they act in a similar way sometimes. So this is going to create a little bit of nervous energy in the air. You'll have potential for breakthrough ideas, new perspectives, a new way of looking at something that you just couldn't see previously. Insights will come out of the blue. We'll get creative in our problem solving. And this transit, it's like a lightning bolt illuminating a dark room. And then on March the 30th, we've got a bit more grounded love. Venus finally enters Taurus after being in Aries, where she hasn't been very comfortable of late. And she loves being in Taurus. She's at home in Taurus. So we'll get some stability in our relationships. If things have been feeling a little bit off track, hopefully this will help to smooth the way a little bit. Venus is all about pleasure, comfort and sensuality, and we get plenty of that in Taurus. And financial grounding. Things will start to settle down as far as finances are concerned. Won't be so volatile as it was previously with the Aries energy. And this is love settling into a natural rhythm, steady, warm, real, cosy. And the next transit of the week to talk about is the 3rd of April, where we have direct communication. Mercury, after moving out of Pisces, enters Aries. She's been in Pisces for a very long time and has been a bit debilitated there and spent a long time in retrograde. So now Mercury is forward moving and in Aries, so it's full speed ahead. This is where we have quick decisions, clear thinking. Our conversations are bold with that courageousness from Aries, and your mind is moving now from reflection into action. It's all about taking those bold moves, acting with confidence. And then we move into April the 4th, which is commitment energy. So we have Venus making a lovely sextile to Saturn, and this is going to bring relationship clarity. any sort of long-term decisions that are required, now is the time to sort of step up and make those decisions. It's going to bring the emotional maturity. And this is about choosing what really matters to you, what's really important to you. So let's take a quick look at the moon. The moon is all about our emotions and how we're feeling and how we sort of navigate the week and our transits and our emotions. So we start off the week with the moon going through Leo, being confident in the way that we're acting and coming across, and then we move into Virgo. Can bring a little bit more sort of self-critical energy, but it's very good for planning, organising. Really good time to start doing a spring declutter or getting yourself organised for the start of the spring, summer. And then Libra, it brings that harmony, that peace, that nice flow to it. So we start off the week expressing ourselves, we move into a bit more refinement with that Virgo energy, and then we finish off with the Libra energy, a bit more balanced. Weekly themes, and with all of these transits and this energy, it's all about having a bit of mental clarity, bringing in those fresh ideas with that energy that's coming in from Uranus and Mercury sextiling each other, grounding our relationships with that Taurus energy, that Venus in Taurus energy, and then having those balanced emotions. Being direct in our communication. Finally, communication's more straightforward, not so many glitches, with Mercury being direct now and moving full force into Aries. So the week, it awakens the mind and it steadies the heart. So day by day energy. So Sunday through to Monday is when we're having those breakthrough ideas. We're getting that flash of inspiration, new thoughts, new thinking, new perspective. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, we're feeling that grounded love and that practical focus. And then through from Thursday to Friday, communication's very direct, very to the point, very straight. And Saturday, we're getting clarity in our relationships. So the week begins with inspiration and ends with that commitment. So the signs that are mostly going to be affected are air, fire, and earth signs. So we've got Aries, which will be mentally activated. A lot of energy in the Aries part of the chart and zodiac. Taurus, with Venus moving into Taurus, will feel that love and that stability. Libra, emotion will bring the emotional balance, and Aquarius, they'll have those creative breakthroughs with some of that sparking of Mercury, Uranus energy. And then air and fire signs will feel the mental spark. Earth signs will feel the grounding. Okay, so how best to work with the energy this week? Say what you mean. Be direct in your communication. Be straight to the point. The energy's helping you, supporting you with that this week. Make practical decisions. Organise yourself, organise your plans. Really good time to put things in place, ready to implement them in the future weeks to come. Strengthening those relationships, following through with your ideas quickly, and thinking clearly and acting confidently. So some great weekly affirmations are: my mind is clear and awake. I welcome new ideas. I choose relationships that support me. I speak with confidence and truth. In summary, this week we're starting off in that energy that we feel awakened. Then it's time to ground that energy and then to make those connections. So the week begins and brings clarity on a problem or issue that we haven't been able to unblock recently, and then we get stability to the heart. As always, wishing you all a fantastic week. I'm looking forward to coming back next week with some fresh insights. Next week is going to be all about healing, courage and healing. So hope you all have an amazing week. Much love, Maria.